economy.
Right. Let's see. The best source that I'll give you is all of the books that deal with this subject. There's a subject called fiqh, and this can go a lot of ways. I'm gonna have to name some of the books. There's a book by, what's this guy's name? Avicenna. He was a doctor of law and medicine. And he wrote a book called The Canon of Medicine. And it's another one. I'm trying to think of this other one because it's by another title. It's on medieval law systems. Oh God. And there's only a few translations of it. If you Google Avicenna and Waqifa, three books will come up on what's called Islamic trust law.
Okay.
Three main books. And you got to forgive me because I have so many of these books, it's like tremendous. But this is the subject that you want to study in the Islamic epic. I'm mentioning the Islamic epic because this was a large epic from Roman times up until what's considered the conquest. And most of the stuff that we have in Africa, and this leads to another conversation. Most of the stuff we have in Africa, as far as literature, came from the Moors or the Muslims at that time. Now, that brings up a big controversy only because of the misunderstanding of who were the originators of this system. You know what I mean? Because I don't want you to think you're studying a whole bunch of Arabs. Now, in the Western Hemisphere, amongst the Olmec Maya, there's not a lot of literature on their economy, but let me think of the name of this book. This book is on pretty much classical Mayan trading systems. Just type classical Mayan trading system in, man.
Okay.
And when I come 2 weeks from now, when I bring the books for y'all over there, I'll bring my bibliographies out. But if you want to study indigenous systems here and here, Waqifas, because the Waqifas teach you the Islamic trust law, and I don't like this word because the people didn't call themselves Mayan, they call themselves Sheep, but
that's right.
Most of it is going to come under the classical history, because that's when you had high interfacing with the conquistadors, and they were dealing with certain types of trade, and they had a system of trade amongst the classical Mayans that talked about their bartering system. There's even a book from Kemet about the treaties and economic system under Ramesses III. Ramesses III, and also under Thutmose III. And I have these at home. I'll just get the title. Thutmose III is important in economic and legal systems because that particular dynasty he was in spread up into what we call the Middle East, and then into the Caucasus Mountains, and they set up what we would call insurance. And that was because they didn't want to have all of the financial burden for the areas if they set up a jurisdiction there and it collapsed, and they invested. So they set up insurance, and they made the citizens pay taxes and insurance. In Islam, we call it the jizya. It was the same thing later, the jizya. The Muslims didn't have to pay the jizya, and you can look up. That's another word I want to put up there, jizya. Sometimes it's spelled Jiyzaa, sometimes it's Jizh. The jizya was a part of the economic system that spread from Egypt, the Moors in Egypt, when Umayyads first made the conquering there. And the jizya was how they spread the system so fast, because they had a way of building militaries up quickly from broken Punic militaries. And these are the same people. Now, when you say Punic and you say Moors, you're talking about the same people, just in different epochs. One is coming from the Roman epic, and as the Roman epic is closing down, you had the Punic soldiers who were called Saracens, right? That's why you see the interchange of the word Muslim, Moor, and Saracen. But the Saracens were the Punic regiments, and as the Umayyads crossed North Africa, the reason why they spread so fast is because they spoke the same language. Punic and Arabic is the same language. Right? So they spread, and they used the Jesus system to pay the soldiers. And once the soldiers could get paid, they already knew the training because they had already been fighting Rome. So the soldiers became the predominant leaders in the community, which is the same thing in the world today. People who run the community usually have been associated with some type of military, because you can't run a community without military science. Structural. When you are in adverse situations, you have to have military people or military-minded people to run it. You can't have politicians running nothing. They don't know how to run it.
That's right.
Politicians don't run anything. It's the people who are in executive capacity, whether they're bondholders or real executive capacity, like real generals or whatever. Because there's two things that they're studying that are vital to any war that you're in, right? They're studying the psychology of people and what makes and breaks them. And they're studying technology. And that's it. And the game is over. You don't have the technology and you don't have the people skills to deal with people, you ain't going nowhere. And that's what has been used actually against us with some of these false doctrines, because they're using a technology against us to take away our power, right?
Technology.
Exactly. In the military sciences, you can't be in here if you don't go along with this.
Word.
Banishment. You know what I mean? So in the smaller organizations, you have that.
Prisoners following.
Giza, Wakifa, and the classical Mayan trading system. That might even be the name of the book. Somebody can Google it right now. You got technology. Type in classical Mayan trading system. You might find that. It's either that name of the book or the book will pop up.
Giza is J what?
Jiyzah, and this was a form of tax that was implemented. Jiy. Yeah, Giza.
So earlier in your presentation, you said that you had been from the Y to Harvard, right? You taught at Harvard.
No, I never taught at Harvard.
Now,
Temple. I mentioned
Temple University.
I went to Temple University and graduated from Temple, but I have also subsequently taught there.
And taught at Temple. Mm-hmm. All right. When can we have you at the Moorish Science Temple of America? Oh, okay, cool.
I mean, if you get an invite and y'all set it up, I'll come and talk.
What you doing next Friday? Around 7:30.
I'll be in Detroit.
All right. Friday after next?
Friday after next, I'm here.
Awesome.
Yeah. Which one are you? Are you in Philly or are you here?
Well, I'm a member of the one here in New York, but we'll have you at both.
Yeah, let me know. You know what I mean? Don't try to bomb me because I said some things.
Nah.
I ain't coming for the setup. I'll come. You know what I mean? Because I like intense dialogue. You know what I mean? Because I think a lot of things that we had at certain epochs of time are valuable. We just have to learn how to use them now.
Right.
Use.
Peace. Because I heard you.
I would be more than willing to do it.
Peace. Because I heard you were saying that when the older people, they be telling their children about the Mayan and the Asar and Asar, Aset, Asu, and you don't got a car, a job, a license. You're out there and you're sick, and really, if you knew how to apply what it was that they were doing today in the modern time, then you would be able to find even more success than these people who lackadaisize yourself, the examples you gave, such as Diddy, or these
LeBron
people.
James, they got guys now. They got a Asar and a sets, but they just now.
They alive now.
They're now. I mean, if Beyonce is one of their sets, I mean, you not like her or whatever. Let them figure out how to surround our people with the proper business people. Maybe you want to be, her agent, or you know what I mean. It's all kind of ways that we need to understand how to architect our society, because the resources are there,
right?
And they can be transposed into other dimensions. You have people who already have that mindset, and that's going to take a lot of educational training and implementation of things that are not in the conventional mold in that jurisdiction. That's for us. You see what I'm saying? You can go to Wall Street, you probably make a whole bunch of money. But how do you set up an interface with, let's say, the CARICOM nations of Africa based on this distribution of products, resources, inventions, so that we can get some kind of, exchange going on.
Right.
How do we actually do that? Set up a legal framework. Those are the type of things you need. Jamaica just joined the African Union.
Woo!